your drive home on Hot 103. Folks, looks like that storm is headed right for us. Gonna put some gas in my Furman generator, stop by the ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, and of course watch Mike's weather page. Y'all stay safe out there.
All right, good morning, everybody. What's happening Monday morning? Welcome. Good morning. What day is it? I don't know. I'm so confused. If you've noticed posts in the past where I post something and it's not the right day, it's because everything blurs together. But I think it's Monday. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's Monday. It's Monday. I think it's Monday. I got Louie up here. Everything's okay. Louie's the chill dog. He's in chill mode today. There's no chaos in our house today. There's no Chick-fil-A bags. Nobody out there. So we'll see a yawn here in a second. Let's count down the yawn. Then here it comes. We know him so well. Ready? Watch. Here it comes. So we got some stuff. There it was. Okay. It's so predictable. It's July the 1st. Man, we got history-making Beryl. Beryl's back up to a Category 4. So I promise we'll get into that here real soon. We'll talk about Invest 96. And then we got Chris. And I am not driving Mexico. That was a joke. It's a double yawn morning. Oh, so where am I? Who am I? I'm in Tampa, Florida. It's Oldsmar's our little city here, and we talk tropics. Mike's weather page. Little disclaimer, I'm not a meteorologist. I'm just a weather fan like you, and always refer back to the National Weather Service. National Hurricane Center for official forecasting. We like to look long range. I am sometimes right. I am sometimes wrong. The goal for me is 50-50. And sometimes It's over or under. Oh, so we got a lot of folks down in the Caribbean we're worried about. My good friends Brandon and Jonathan from Weather Chasing, WX Chasing, are down there. And they call. We talked on the phone. We're really good friends. I can't believe it, we're friends. Like, the weather community is really became my little circle of friends. And they're down there right now. And they're going to be posting about the hurricanes. So I hope, guys, you stay safe. Because this is a monster. It's a Category 4. Could lose power down there. Who knows, man? I mean, it's scary. But we're going to get into it. Big shout out to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. That's 3 yawns. We are going camping, by the way. I am not canceling my camping trip with the girls. It's July 4th. Put my foot down. We're going to Margaritaville, Auburndale, our favorite place to go. We're heading there tomorrow. We're going to do a live tomorrow. I'm going to figure out a way to do a live Wednesday. We're just going to be mobile. I've done it before. We've done it before. I have all the stuff. I got Starlink. Only an hour away from home. But I'm not going to cancel our trip. So, in case you're wondering. So we'll be stopping at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits today. I did get a call from a couple of news networks, one being CNN, and Aaron Burnett and I have become friends, and they're going to have me do some weather tonight maybe. So I'll post that. It might be 7 o'clock. You might be flipping through channels and say, oh my God, there's Mike. What's up with that? All right, so there's a tropics map for today. 3 things. Now, they named Chris last night. Oh, my God. 5 o'clock this morning. I didn't even want to update the website or the app. The app's back online, by the way. That was a stressful night. I apologize. Listen, apologize. I know the app went down last night for a few hours for some. Long story short, but Sunday's the worst time because I don't think they have anybody working. But it's back. They got back up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I waited up, tried to answer every single email. Anybody that had any problems with it. So that's just the way it goes. Kind of like a power outage. Kind of like the AT&T or Sprint or anybody having cell phone problems or cable going out. I couldn't do anything about it. The website is my baby. You know, one thing, if you got the app, remember you can always go to the website. The website is always there on browser. You just got to open up a browser. So I know a lot of folks access the website through the app, but the app's still online. It's just not through the app. So, but the app's good. Hopefully it'll never happen again. Little glitches happen. That's his life. I mean, heck, even Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter goes down sometimes. So, but that was a couple hours, so we're back online. So anyway, good morning, Miss Mary. Good morning, Bob. What's up, Lorena? What's up, Miss Judy? Or Judith already said hey, but you said Hunter. What's up, Mary Carol? Candy. This is Louie, by the way. Louie. Hunter looks just like him. All right, so let's talk about things. This is the current map. Eric's got 13 dogs and 2 ferrets. Holy moly. Belize. Hey, yeah, Belize watching. We're going to be talking about y'all. It's kind of getting close to you. I got to wear that peanut hat. You're right, Jacob. That would be funny. Damn, it's a 4 yawn morning. Louie, why are you so tired today? So we did have hey, Lord Angel, we did have an eye wall replacement. We're going to go through that. Let's put Louie down and get right into the weather here. Bill Lauderdale, good morning. What's up, Melba Wallace? Thank you, Mr. Josh. Yeah, Crystal Louie is sleepy today. All right, I'll let you go down, but you go. I know I don't want to show his private parts, but this is what he loves to do. Let's try to do it like this, so we'll keep it clean. There we go. This is him. Now, he could sleep like this all day. He's a pretty chill dog. All right. There's the tropics map. We got I guess the only good news is our Invest 96 is reduced a little bit to 90 or to 60%. We'll get into that here in a second. We'll talk all about Beryl. Chris, forget about it. It's all over. Chris is made inland. I mean, what the heck? It was named now. I mean, come on, man. Like, hey, the only good thing is it took a name. If we're gonna have so many names this season, we want storms like Chris. Chris is gone. If you're looking forward to being a long track hurricane, if your name was Chris, you had your 5 minutes of fame. Kind of like that. Well, that girl on TikTok was that Zach Bryan. I'm not going to say it because I might make somebody mad. Unless I have to cough. But she's at Zach Bryan concert. That's pretty cool. All right. Let's talk about Chris. There you go. Chris had this 5 minutes of fame. There it is. Now it's gone. Okay? Blink. It's over. Chris, you're done. I'm not driving to storm chase you, Chris, because I'd be in Perry right now. I'd still have another like day and a half to get there. So it's a clump of clouds. It's rain. Okay, bye. This is what we're going to talk about. All right, monster, man. This is a record-breaking hurricane, Beryl. Strongest hurricane on record this early in the season. First ever Cat 4 in June. I know yesterday was June 30th, but still today, still the strongest storm as of July 1st ever on record. Despite all the negatives, okay, we had dry air to the north. We had a suppressed MJO velocity map. We had climatology, everything against this system. But yet, it's a map. And you know what? It might make a run at Category 5. There's a chance. Hurricane hunters are in there right now, and it's dropping pressures. It went through an eye wall replacement. That's a natural cycle. Unfortunately, an eye wall replacement means it could be a little bit stronger, deeper now because it's maintained a little more intensity. We got people in Jamaica watching close. We have the Caymans watching close. We have the Yucatan watching close, okay? And then there's an outside chance this thing bends up into Texas. So I'm going to show you all the latest models. I promise you that. And then we'll talk about Invest 96. Dakota Jones. There is science. I will admit, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And it had circulation. Can't really deny science, so they had to name it. I get it. Brian wants to know, why is this storm not going north? There's a strong high pressure to the north. We've been talking about this high pressure all season. It looks like this is going to be the year of high pressure. Unfortunately, I know locals, back me up on this, please. Jason Strong, what's up, buddy? Back me up on this. Months ago, we predicted this possibility of Caribbean action, West action, because of history and La Niña years and just what we were seeing with the Bermuda High, basically. So this could be the year of more Caribbean action, more long track action, more upper Western Gulf action, more East Coast action. Early season, meaning now through September. And then, of course, Florida is always in play. La Niña, El Niña, all that stuff, because of it sticks out like a sore thumb. So Florida's its own little animal. I'd worry more about the East Coast early season because of these storms that are just going to have a natural west motion to them because of the high. So anyway, we got a lot of folks down in the islands watching. It's passing south of Barbados right now. Luckily, it didn't take a direct hit. It did trend a little south. And the hurricane hunters are out there right now, finding maybe even a stronger system. All right, what's the radar look like? Here's Barbados. Not there no more. Oh, I figured that would happen as soon as we went there. It's been off and online all day. I posted a static shot of that earlier. There it is. Okay, I don't think we can even stop it. You saw it for a second. The radar's got so much traffic. That's Barbados radar. Let's see. We'll give them one more chance. But I'm sure the whole world's tuning into Barbados right now. But, now, look at that. Site cannot be reached. Well, anyway, I did post the link earlier. You probably saw it. Now the site, now it's back. You can do it, little guy. All right, well, the radar shows the eye is getting awfully close. Here is an interesting microwave imagery graphic. Now, I don't know what happened from here to here, but it went through an eye wall replacement. So the eye wall was really teeny weeny yesterday, and then look at the latest one. Boom! Didn't just happen like that, but the eye wall has expanded and went through an eye wall replacement. It's a very powerful, tight cord system, and I have this link on the site if you want to see it. Microwave imagery, but it basically just examines the core of the storm, and you can see it's very, very, very healthy. Some key messages, dangerous, obviously. Hurricane force winds, life-threatening storm surge, all the stuff you would expect. Expected to remain a powerful hurricane as it moves across Caribbean this week. Tropical storm effect now for parts of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. That's a watch. Of course, interest in Hispaniola, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, and then, of course, Yucatan will be down the road. Here's current track. There we go. We got hurricane warnings up in red. This is going to be a major hurricane. Your timestamps, major hurricane. It's going to start weakening hopefully before Jamaica. Still looks like it's going to be a tick south of Jamaica. Caymans are right on that outer edge of the cone. A little bit of bend, high pressure building in. Unfortunately, we got that hurricane possibly in the Yucatan really close to Belize. That would be the 4th of July. So if you're going down to that area the 4th of July, you're going to have trouble. And then it's going to plop out under the BOC lower Gulf. So the trends have been a little to the south. It is expected to weaken some once it gets down into the Gulf. A lot of land interaction. So it's going to be, going across a whole day there. So it is going to weaken. Texas isn't out of the water yet. Was that even make sense? Out of the water? But the trend is a little to the south. Still going smack dab your way this week, end of this week. Winds are right now 130. Like I said, the hurricane hunters are out there right now. Let's restart this thing. I want to show you where the islands that are going to be affected the most. All right, so there's your zoomed in track. Hopefully the big winds will stay between the two islands here, but that's the part of the... Let me turn the radar off so you can see a little better. So there you go. South of Barbados. Obviously we had people emailing me from the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, that's staying way to the south. This is kind of give you an idea where it's at. Unfortunately, these little islands are going to get the brunt of it. So we'll be seeing my good buddies Brandon and Jonathan are down there weather chasing. We'll see how they do. I think they're here, if I remember right. I think they're riding it out here, so we'll have to keep up with them. As we get to Jamaica, timestamps will give you an idea what's cooking here. This is going to be July 3rd, 2 a.m. So if it gives any impacts to Jamaica, remember this is the cone. This is July 3rd, 2 p.m. This is the eye wall. So wherever the center is, you're going to have bands outside of that eye wall. This is just the center of the storm. So however big the storm gets before then, we can have effects way outside this little eye wall of this cone. Can't focus on that cone. That's always very important. I know we talk about it a lot. And then we got people down here watching in the Yucatan and Belize. So we'll see. It's going to be Category 2 on approach here July the 5th, 2 a.m. So July 4th, you're going to start seeing things go downhill. Then it's going to end up somewhere in the lower Gulf. And we'll talk about that. NHC is saying it's going to be 65 miles an hour on July the 5th. And we'll see if we get any turn up towards Texas. Some models are still saying that. Here's Chris, but think about this flow. We've had an Invest over here. We've had Alberto. We got Chris. We got Beryl. Talk about consistent tracks 4 now have been kind of pushing this direction. Crazy, right? All right. Here are your latest spaghetti models from tropicaltidbits.com. I can't thank Levi enough for his support over the years and letting us work together, and so we support him very much. So the only thing we're worried about is any sneaky turn to the north. There's some modeling that suggests this thing might split the gap, but we always say trends are your friends in the tropics. Right now, there's no reason to think we're going to see anything out of the ordinary. We are seeing a slow bend to the north. Depending on when that bend happens, we could see some effects here somewhere this weekend. So if we see anything, it would be this weekend. If we had any sort of re-intensification towards Texas. So that's the trend. All right. So these are timestamps. If you're always curious about time, when these models run, this is 24 hours from now. This would be tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If that makes sense. All right, intensity models are right here. Then we'll look at Hurricane Hunter data. So you can see that slow, what is a good word? Deterioration. But you can't use the word downgrade because it's still going to be a category 2 all the way to the Yucatan. So we are going to see wind shear. But again, no one predicted this thing to be a Cat 4. A couple of models did, but climatology, the dusty Sal, the suppressed MJO, all said no. So we watch these things in real time as they happen. Tracks are a little more predictable than intensity. Tracks are a little more predictable because the upper level steering currents are a little more predictable. And that's that big high pressure. Somebody on our brew crew, Shelly, asked, I'll show you how to find the upper high. I always look at 500 millibar winds, and you can see them. Nope, Jamaica's still in the cone, Christine, barely. Doesn't mean anything, though, because, we still got the effects way outside the cone. But at least the head-on hit is less likely. Good morning, everybody over there. Crazy Lightning, Jason. Yep. Remember, we stay live on the Brew Crew after, so I'll try to say hi to everybody afterwards. So anyway, slow downgrade as the system moves on. Here's the Hurricane Hunters. They're at it right now. Latest pressure 960, and then they're going to make another pass here. You can see that motion, a little tick to the north. Big tick to the north, actually. But these storms wobble, So we talked about it yesterday. You kind of connect the dots. You can't. We're going to obviously see a center fix probably here now, but you can't draw a line and say, oh my God, that's going to go right to Louisiana, because the next one might be here. So it's over time that you draw a track, and you see these little wiggles and wobbles, especially the stronger the system. It might appear it's going one direction, but it's actually that center just wobbles around to 500 millibars solid. It's the lower level that kind of bounces around, and you get this perception the storm's shifting, but in time it really doesn't shift. So everybody gets caught up on these little wiggles and wobbles. It's the upper level. You can't deny the upper level pattern in steering currents. Old school steering currents, by the way, right here. Right here, upper level steering map. This kind of shows you the general direction. Upper level winds are kind of pushing this direction. And then this high here that's developing over the east, moving towards the east. This right here is sliding this way, and that is going to actually continue this motion. So when this gets this way, this will be here, and this will keep on moving our system. But now the question is, once this circle here gets here, will there be a weakness and allow this to do that? So that's a definite possibility. I follow a lot of Texas meteorologists, the real guys and gals, the ones that are smart. And they're talking about it. So I don't feel bad talking about the chance that this thing could turn up into Texas a little bit more than people think. But we look at models. All right, so that's the steering map. Okay, what else we got pulled up here? Let me close that. Close the hurricane hunters. The hurricane hunters are flying around 960. Remember, lower the pressure, the stronger the system. 960, pretty strong. It's probably even stronger now. All right, so where's it going? Here's some weathernerds.org ensembles. Ensembles are great to look at. These are your European ensembles. You'd like to see a little tighter cluster, which would be higher confidence. You still see a pretty wide span. And that kind of leaves the door open a little bit. Possible that this thing could spread a little to the north, a little to the south. It's not 100%. And then, of course, when we get to the bay here, some of these crash into Mexico and dissipate. The black line is the average of the models. You can see some of them are turning a little to the north. So I'm not going to stop talking about that possibility until we see all these models push west. So there's your latest European overnight spaghetti models. And notice the colors here. These colors are the intensity levels. And we're seeing a little bit of drop here. Hold on a second. I got to get some. Hold on. Something beeping. I had to turn off. Good thing I had pants on. I always worry that I'd stand up one day and don't have pants on. That would get me kicked off the internet. Oh, Shelly, where's your hometown at? You live down here? Or are you tuning in? Okay, so right now the mean line is just north of Belize as a landfall. Remember, the strongest winds of a system are to the north typically. It's tricky. When you got a system going to the north, it's the east side, northeast side. And when you get a system going to the west, it's the top side. And these things are being driven by a high pressure, which induces a lot more of the convection and winds to the north side. I do have a map here you can take a look at. Look at winds right here, wind analysis. This kind of shows you the current look. So here's your center core, and you can see the big winds are to the north. So wherever the landfall is on a system that's going horizontally to the west, the winds are to the north. The big winds. Obviously, you're going to get winds in the core like that, but the bigger winds are to the north side. And the surge. We don't have any surge maps yet, obviously, because it's not really, I don't know. Do we have any surge maps yet? Probably not. I don't think they do surge maps for islands, but no. All right, so there's your European ensembles. The GFS ensembles are here, kind of showing you the same thing. I did see an interesting point yesterday. I always educate myself and learn things. Somebody kind of called out people like me for saying that it could go to Texas because of the average. These ensembles are basing what's left now. Some are crashing into Mexico, and some are, I think that's, I don't know. So, listen, I started this page called Spaghetti Models back in the day because I like spaghetti models. As long as we have spaghetti models that are saying it could still go to the north, listen. Hurricane Otis last year wasn't expected to do anything. Cat 5 Acapulco. Ian, the outside of the edge, outlier. Irma, outside of the edge, outlier. Idalia rode on an outlier. Laura rode on an outlier. Dorian rode on outliers. So that's what people like to see are possibilities. We look for consistency in the models. We look for trends. We still have that trend, though, that some are saying it could pull to the north. That high pressure breaks down, goes off to the east. We have so I'd still not put all my money. But the more land it interacts with, the more it could weaken. But what happens over here? Now, this is interesting. This is not Weather Nerds 2. Now, this is a great example here. So the color, as I started talking about, see this weakening. The good news is for Jamaica and the Caymans, it could weaken. It could lose that major hurricane status. You can see this with the color. It could really get weak before landfall. But what we worry about would be these colors re-intensifying would be what we've, obviously with the Gulf and history and, is a re-intensification. So when it plops on the other side, when it breaks on through to the other side, we have to watch. And that would be this weekend. All right. What else we got to talk about? Let's talk about, we're going to show you all the individual model runs in a second, I promise. Let's talk about this guy real quick. So it was 70, now it's 60. Good news. This is Invest 96. This is almost exactly the same track as Beryl. It was 70%. This morning it's 60%. The models have been everywhere. My common sense is it's going to follow Beryl's tracks. A little cooler waters from Beryl. Beryl will be doing a lot of upwelling of cooler waters. That big blob of high pressure that might be moving to the east, that's going to pull Beryl a little to the north, will eventually move a little bit more, and this could end up a little bit more north. That would be my thinking. But if it stays weak goes west. That's a thing that is guaranteed. Weaker waves get driven by those winds, and they just go west. So anyway, 60%. But I do say tropical depression could form by the middle of this week. It's Monday. Monday. Here's the latest spaghetti models on tropicaltubes.com. You can see this track almost exactly like Beryl, a little to the north, a tick to the north. Might put Barbados kind of in the way. Starting to see a little turn here at the end. But there you go. There's the spaghetti models. We got spaghetti models. Intensity, not as high, which is good news. Last week, maybe beginning part of last week, we were watching Beryl, and it had called it a Cape Verde seed. It had a spin off of Africa. Anytime I've seen those over the years, they've turned into big systems to watch. This one didn't have circulation. We'll check. I haven't checked this morning. But we also saw last week, and it definitely played out, that the big plume of dust in the front and the big plume in behind, Beryl's kind of found a way in between those. Well, this one might be riding a little bit more dust in the wind. But anyway, if you're curious, intensity models are not as aggressive. That's good news. Which is so weird because, a couple days ago, a lot of the models had this being stronger than Beryl. So I'm never 100% sold on these things. Let's look at the wind map. Let's see if it's got any sort of spinach. Chris is gone. I don't even know how it got its name, but here's, what the heck is that down there? Oh, that's the same thing. All right, so there's your lower level winds. Let's go to 850. Incredible wind structure, obviously. There's those northern winds. Very strong winds to the north. Very strong winds to the north. Incredible winds. Here is our next spot. Trying. Well, it's a little low rider, though. That's interesting. Look at that. I don't know. Somewhere right here. It's trying. Trying. It's not bad, actually. It's got a little spin, too. Gotta watch this little guy. It's like Hunter. He comes in a little 9-pound box, but he could be something. But anyway, there's the next system. This is Invest 96. We'll talk about that here. Oh my God, I'm losing my voice. All right, so all my links and stuff. It is July the 1st. Barbados radar. Everything Beryl here. You can check all these little links out. Got some amazing pages we might show here in a little bit. And then we got Invest 96. All the stuff you need to see with that. And I got one little graphic for Chris. I debated whether you put that on there. By the way, I'm coming to you live from Florida. I'm trying to make my way down to see Chris right now. I got another day and a half to go. So thanks everybody for tuning in and talking there. Appreciate it. I don't get to read a lot of comments. Greg Montgomery, my buddy. Yeah, we got to watch these in real time. I will tell you this. So we're technically not in La Niña yet. So we'd still have wind shear. The conditions historically. Let me show you how odd this is. Let me get back to my point first. I'm never one to hype anything. Ever. Let me tell you. But. It's a big but. I got a big but. I did only eat half of my cheeseburger at Chili's last night. That's my diet plan. I sit there and I'm like, man, do I want to... So I've been doing pretty good, eating pretty good, drinking a little more Jack, a little less beer. That's my diet plan. Get a hamburger, I eat half the hamburger. I'm like, I'm only going to get half the hamburger. But anyway, we talked a lot about the water temperatures, right? And La Niña comes into play a little bit more into the season. Not now. So if these water temperatures stay where they're at, and we enter La Niña, August, September, October, man, we could see a year like 05 and 20. I mean, because of what we just saw. I never would have expected we'd see a Cat 4 hurricane in the Caribbean. Because history says no. Last year, we had Lee pop up out of nowhere, man. And then last year, we had Otis in the Pacific that popped up out of nowhere. So, man, you have to stay alert in the tropics. And, you just don't know. Our first major hurricane over the last 30 years, 1991 to 2020 average, has been September 1st. First hurricane normally is August 11th. And it's June. And this isn't just like a barely major hurricane. It's Cat 4, maybe getting to be Cat 5. So that's why it's just very odd. Very odd. And the water temperatures, let me show you so I don't forget. This is site Brian McNulty. I shared a lot, but in case you're new, all these links are on my page. Just grab a 6-pack, go to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. If you run out of power, you can still go on the internet, just run your dang Furman power generator. Like how I threw that in there, Greg. I've done 2 of our daily brews on a generator one time. And I did a remote one on our 0E, thanks to Furman. So we are powered. But anyway, the ocean heat content, this is where we're at. This is why. This is your ocean heat content across the whole MDR, main development region. And where we are July 1st, we're normally at September. So we're 2 months ahead of schedule as far as these water temperatures. And, months ago, we were talking about these water temperatures in March. And, we're like, if this gap stays the same, oh boy. Well, you know what? The gap stayed the same. That gap stays the same, we're in trouble. Because this is your 2013 to 2023 average of water temperature. This is not surface temperature water. This is ocean heat content. And surface temperature is one thing, yeah, but it's that water below the surface that these storms utilize and pull. And warm water helps convection. Warmer water helps fuel. It's like the old steam engines, right? Doc and them, Marty, needed that steam engine to go 88 mile an hour, so they put in these capsules of whatever they were made out of, and they made the steam hotter. So anyway, we got to watch this gap. That's why I'm a little starting to feel a little like confident we're going to see some pretty active summer months ahead. This water temperature might be everything. We look at things like this, MJO. This is a vertical velocity map. Typically, when we're in this suppressed stage here with the velocity, it's very slow. So you throw this out the window. Usually orange means less convection, but we're there. And usually the dust map says we got a lot of dust out there, but guess what? The last couple waves figured out a way to I don't care. Now, last week we were talking about Beryl. Here's Beryl now. Remember last week we had this big old mess that was an invest that never really got organized. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's Chris. I don't even know. They all blend together. Massive convection last week here, but it didn't have any spinach. And I said, if we have spinach, we have trouble. And we're going to see when Beryl gets here if it really gets torn apart. Now, I know there's shear coming. Shear forecasts are hard to predict. We're going to have a strong high pressure coming in, but we saw a lot of bubbling here just last week, and there's not going to be a lot of dust. So here's our new wave riding low. Here's another one coming off Africa. What is up with that? Now, that one's got a huge plume. Look at the size of that plume coming off. This is the plume that looked like it was going to avoid Beryl. That thing's massive. Everybody say the word plume. Alexa, what does plume mean?
As a noun, plume is usually defined as a feather. As a verb, plume is usually defined as to furnish, cover, or adorn with plumes or feathers.
Feathers.
For more, ask me to give you more
Stop.
definitions for plume.
So plume is a feather. Thank you, Chase Edwards. I just happened to look over there. We're going to talk a little bit more. I like to interact. We'll talk to everybody here in a little bit. I hate to not look at comments, but a plume is a feather. Remember the feather from Forrest Gump? Oh my God, that was such a good movie. All right, let's look at, just for fun, since we're talking about the dust, I want to see if that big plume showed up on the NASA map. There it is. There's the plume. All right, there it is. There it is. All right, so our system here figured out a way, which kind of looked like it was going to figure out a way last week. Remember we were talking about that. There's a dust in the upper Gulf. A lot of this is dry air too, but dust is basically dry air because of dust. The dust helps make dry air. If you ever get an oil spill, you used to throw kitty litter out there, and this is kind of the same theory. But there's a huge plume of dust coming off of Africa. It's a feather. Now, one thing different with that wave behind Beryl is we're seeing a lot more ingestion possibly to the north, wrapping around. That might be a good sign that the 96 might not be as intense. See how this dust stays around it? Eventually, thunderstorms rise, they circulate, they reach that upper level atmosphere where the dust is flying in from the Saharan desert. And it's not everything, but it does ingest, and you get dry. Dry air is the enemy of hurricanes. But that's interesting. I'm gonna. Holy moly, that thing is massive. Look at that thing, making it all the way across. Oh God! July the 8th. Look at that big old dust mound making it. Holy cow! The whole Gulf's gonna be in dusty. That's July the 9th. So 96 got a little more dry air to contend with. Woo, man. Florida going to get dusty. Does make nice sunsets. All right. I want to look at water vapor map here real quick. Water vapor is a great tool to look at to give you a synopsis of the environment. Let's look at weathernerds.org and we can zoom in on the whole. Oh my God, I must have zoomed in one time because it's massive. All right, God, what happened here? I'm all messed up. Let me refresh it now. There we go. All right. So here is your map. Let's go to water vapor. God, it's already 10:05. Can't believe it. What's up, Mr. Eric? Morgan, what's up? What's up? What's up? All right, water vapor. Remember the Budweiser? What's up? All right. It's incredible that it's done what it did. Sorry to all you English. Every now and then we'll get a English person get mad at me and they'll post done what it's did is not probably. So any kids watching, don't ever say it done what it's did, okay? We learned the last live that we could say the latest rans. Oh, I haven't even shown you models yet. We're going to look at models here. But anyway, this is remember that they called it a PV streamer, I think it was right. The tropical tut, there's a little bit left over here. Some of that's feeding into Beryl. This is moisture from a existing tropical trough tut PV streamer. Systems rotate counterclockwise. Some of this is helping ingest juice and helping our system. So there's a lot of dry air behind it. See, here's 96. It's that was supposed to be a circle. It didn't work out too good, but there's 96. So it's got a lot of dry air. It's definitely this right here could be what's wrapping up around it. That's what I was going to look at. So heavy. The more organized 96 get, it's going to start pulling in some of this dry air around it. Now this is interesting. This one's interesting. There's another wave coming off Africa. I can't believe it. Look at that. This is not supposed to be happening in June, July, but it is. That one's pretty juicy. They always look good coming off of Africa, but then they have to survive, and sometimes they don't. But that one's looking healthy. Oh, I don't even know why I zoomed in. Let's see if it's got any spin coming off Africa. And that's up by the Cape Verde. That's more of just a convective storm versus not a true low. Actually, you can go to surface charts here. We can look at surface level charts and see if they marking that yet. No, nothing yet. So we'll see if they even mark that a wave. There is a little low though out there. What is going on out there? Let me look real quick. No, that little low that was showing up by the islands is not that. That's just, I don't think that's going to be anything. All right, let's look at models. We haven't even done that yet. Oh my God. You're welcome there, Dickie Ball. Somebody from Folsom Prison. Now, I remember that. You used to say that last year. AJ. Buy kitty litter, throw it up in the sky. Here you go, Tina. Oh my God. We're going to be out of toilet paper, water, and kitty litter. So if you want to follow anybody, go to WX Chasing. Look it up. He's a good friend of mine, Brandon Clement. Also Jonathan, I can't ever say his last name right. Jonathan P. I just leave it there. He's actually, he used to be a Bay News 9 reporter. Now he's doing all kinds of weather stories. A great dude. They called me yesterday or 2 days ago. They were on their way to the islands. They're in there right now. So Shelly says it takes 4 hours to click through half the links. That's right. I'm telling you, I got every link you could possibly want. I'm so bad I was actually looking at flights, Morgan. God, I'm so bad. Last night I'm clicking flights to Grenada. I'm like, what am I thinking? I don't even know what I would do. Carolyn, if we had a Storm named Popeye. Oh my God, that would be hilarious. You're welcome, Catherine Wall. Thank you very much. Shelly doing a great job as always. Everybody do a shout out to Shelly. I met Shelly during Hurricane Matthew. She's always been my extra set of eyeballs. And has never let me down for all these years. Not everybody loves her. Not everybody loves me. This is the way life works. But we're a team. And Phil. Some people don't like Phil. I like Phil. Bruno needs to get the yard cut. Just hire somebody, man. It's the best $20 a week. Well, actually, that went up. Inflation. Richard got a t-shirt. Awesome, buddy. Cool, buddy. I have 2 store links here, by the way. One of them I ship from home now. Julie does it. I think it's store number 1. If you go to store number 1, it's like door number 1. All this stuff is in stock in my... We got a hat. We got the Hurricane Hair shirts. Hurricane Hair Don't Care. We have these in stock. Hurricane Hair Don't Care. And then, of course, the original. The OG. In stock. And my favorite dark gray color. That's my favorite shirt of all time. We've been sporting that since 2018. So there you go. And then the other side is store number 2. It's got all of our originals. We got the summer edition, which I need to start pumping. I love this shirt. I love that one. It's so tropical looking. That is a good. In fact, I need to order one. I need to actually 2X. Unfortunately, they're out of talls. That ain't good. Oh, they have them in blue though. See, 2XT. Little trick on this site. You can get tall ones, which is good. I hate short shirts. I'm a tall guy. 2XT is perfect. I need to order one. It looks good on gray too. 2XT. I got all these shirts. Check them out. I got tank tops, long sleeve. No one's talking about that right now. Hoodies. I like this one. Brews, dogs, and weather. Things that go together. Look at that. There's Louie. I have one with Hunter. Coffee, dogs, and Mike. That's what I like. There's Hunter. Hurricane Watchdogs. Look. Such a cool design. Hurricane Watchdogs. They're my Hurricane Watchdogs. I don't know. My buddy Dusty Kemp draws these things. That is not a fifth leg, by the way. This is the original shirt. Me and Phil were in chasing Hurricane Delta. We rented a Jeep. We had the power line explosion right overhead of us, and that was a memory I'll never forget. We were stormed. That was the birth of the Storm Chasers. Every shirt tells a story. Of course, this was our first IPA we had made. Everybody can relate to that one. Early season, we watched Blobs. Blobs in the Gulf of Mexico. Can't click on it though. It's not clicking. I've clicked out. Redneck Storm Chaser is one of my favorite. I always wear my Storm Chaser shirt when we go storm chasing. All right, let's look at the models. I know I'm driving everybody crazy here. All right, we got tropicaltidbits.com is the best place to go for tropical models. Let's see what they are predicting for 96. Now, we've seen 96 be tricky on the models. I think I'm going to get a Tammy Harvick. I think I'm going to get a hat. I think I'm going to get a peanut hat with our logo on it because I'm the guy with the nutshell hat. I'll leave it up for us today. All right, so there's 2 things we're watching. Obviously, we're pretty confident that Beryl's going to be trouble short term. We've talked about that a lot. Let's see what it looks like down the road. Now, the GFS is definitely going to the north. So Jamaica obviously is watching very, 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 very close. I'm a little worried that this thing gets stronger and it doesn't weaken as fast. Stronger system, yes. Weaken, yes. But if it's stronger now, it won't weaken that fast. So we could still be looking at a potential major hurricane getting close to Jamaica. This would be Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday early. You can start feeling effects in just 2 days from now. Here's the system coming in behind, sloppy. That dust, dry air, I'm going to post that. Definitely a big player now that's coming into play on 96. That's why I think the NHC reduced the chances a little bit. GFS kind of trying to split the gap a little bit. It doesn't really do much with 96 at all. A little more north than the mean line. Here is 96 south of Jamaica on Saturday, early Saturday. Here is Beryl, early Saturday. And kind of keeps it close to the border of Texas and Mexico. Here is 96. Kind of keeps that same exact path. A little more into Texas, 996. 988. This would be the only thing I would hype more than anything is we do have a lot of wind shear in this area right here, Caribbean graveyard this time of year. But what happens when it escapes this, we could really have something to watch possibly. And this would be 96 that is showing possible development last second. 996 to 988. So makes sense. 96 follows it. Some of the models had this pulling a little more to the north. Let's show you some of those latest. Let's look at last night's 00Z run. GFS still over Jamaica on Wednesday. Here is 96. A little farther to the south on the overnight run. A little more down in the bay. Here's 96. And it kind of doesn't do much with it. So big change in 6 hours. Let's look at last night's 18Z run. Here was close to Jamaica, unfortunately, on Wednesday again. Here's 96 on Wednesday. A little more into Texas for Beryl. There's 96. Following along and then kind of dying. So you get the idea. Now let's look at some other models. Let's look at we already showed you ensembles a bunch, so it's not like I haven't done this yet. Let's show you the latest Euro. Euro, really good with upper level steering. So it's showing you very close to Jamaica, a little to the south. Unfortunately, Jamaica, you're on the south end, or the storm to your south end. You still have winds to your north, or north of the system. So definitely don't focus on that center line as much, because even a pass just to your south, you're going to get a lot of those worse winds, unfortunately. This is the latest Euro 6Z, as a matter of fact. So it's only going to go to 9. See, it's keeping that low rider. Euro does really good with upper level winds. God, we're going to go past an hour. Last night's 00Z run, just barely nicking Jamaica. Here's 96. Nowhere to be seen. Euro re-intensifying, pulling north, but staying south of Texas. Obviously, it's common sense here. The farther north our system goes, the better chance it's going to turn. The farther south it goes, it might turn into Mexico. But we do see a small little turn coming. There's a little weakness. You can see it here. You can see the Bermuda high. This is next Monday. Little weakness. High pressure is driving out. So eventually a little turn is coming, but it's all about the turn. All right. Enough of that. Let's look at Canadian. Here is... all these texts are coming through. Canadian over Jamaica, unfortunately, Wednesday morning. Here's July 4th. Unfortunately for the Yucatan, this is Canadian, run a little higher. Canadian more into Texas. Not doing much with 96. It's amazing how the models have backed off on 96, but again, a lot of it's that dry air, which I'm going to do a post here after the show. Yesterday's Canadian tipping the Yucatan and keeping a weaker west system going below it. But yesterday the Canadian actually had Beryl re-intensifying from a 995 to 982. Definitely a real possibility if this thing, wherever it is on, however north it goes, then Texas is definitely still in play. All right, there's that icon. Pretty good little model. Finally picked up on our little system. Unfortunately, it's very close to Jamaica, man. Ugh. Jamaica is going to really be sweating this one out 2 days from now. Really getting close. Ian, are you watching? Ian, did Ian come into our chat? Got a lot of folks from Jamaica that watch us, but I would definitely not turn your back on this if you're in the Caymans or you're in Jamaica. Here's your icon. It's pretty much showing possibility of this thing getting close to Texas. That was the 6Z run. Here is your overnight run. Actually, went a little south yesterday, or than yesterday's run. And it's more into Mexico there. Yesterday's 12Z, I think it had a little more to the north. There was yesterday's 12Z run. This would be the worst case scenario for anybody. It would be 988 leaving Yucatan and then rapidly intensifying to 957. So that's, definitely a possibility, but not. It's an outlier. But I always look at outliers. But you can see the trend on 96. Okay, let's look at the KMA model and the UK model now. The KMA did pretty good last year. I got to take the damn battery out of my charger. I can't believe it. I got to. It was starting to start a little weird, and then yesterday we haven't drove it in a week, and it didn't even. I couldn't even unlock the doors. So luckily they have terminals in the front of the engine. Chris Hargis, if you're watching, you're Keisha. Oh, there you are, Keisha. I know you're a Jamaican watching. Good to see you. Thanks for watching. Definitely, it's gonna. You be better. Got to be ready by Tuesday night, tomorrow night, because you're gonna start getting bands on Wednesday morning. Weather chasing is on live stream. Yeah, man. My buddies, I can't. Don't reshare them because they'll nab you for copyright. Okay, Shelly. Ian's been emailing. That's cool. Anyway, I gotta go yank the battery out of my charger. That's what I was getting at. It's a pain in the butt. I'm gonna have to. It's in the trunk. Julie's gonna go grab me a new one at the parts store, though. All right, so here's the KMA. Can't park the RV in the driveway because the charger's in the way, so I gotta get the battery here. All right, here's your KMA. It's staying just, man, Jamaica's so close. I'm a little worried about Jamaica. I think they're going to get a sneaky major hurricane. I don't think this thing's going to weaken as fast as they're hoping. I think it's going to skirt just south and possibly still be a 115 mile an hour storm. But the KMA, keep it south. And it's not even developing in the second system, 96. So it's second system's really got a lot of dry air. Now here's the UK. It's staying a little more south. Jamaica into the Yucatan. UK is really good with steering currents too. It's not developing 96, so what a change from yesterday, man. That 96 was showing up on all the models. Some of the models, this is how screwed up the models have been. Some of the models didn't show Beryl organizing much, and they showed the second system organizing, and now they're showing, obviously Beryl outdid the models and now not showing 96. So we just got to watch things in real time. That's all. Here's a big map. This is what I look at. You just kind of watch for convection. Here's 96. We'll see what it can do, It's got a little circulation. That's the big key. It's got a little circulation. I bet you we can see it on the 850 millibar. 850 millibar right here. There's a little bit. It's sloppy. It's elongated. There's that little spin. That's weird. That's smack dab over top of that dust, though, coming off of the Africas. You can have circulation without any convection. But anyway, this is the sloppy little low there coming off behind Beryl. Got a little bit of 500 millibar too. There's Chris. I mean, obviously Chris had what it took to be designated. It just ran out of time. History repeats itself with the flow pattern, though. I told everybody. My gut feeling. All right. That's it. Let's see. That's it. I don't know. Been an hour and 5 minutes. I try to go an hour. Remember, it's early in the season, folks. Long way to go. Short time to get there. Couple things since we got everybody. Don't forget our cruise coming up. We're 3/4 sold out. Just about 25% of our cabins are left. This is our 4th annual cruise. We end up having more fans on the ship that are not with our group. Last time I stopped counting at 50 couples. I told Julie, once we get to 50, we're stopping. 50 different people stopped us that were fans that weren't in our little group. So if you're cruising, you like to cruise, brand new ship. We're going to be on it early part of June. So we'd love to have you party it. I love our MWP family. I haven't met a bad fan yet. They're all cool people. We love every single one of you, and it's a lot of fun. So there's all the information on there. You can get a hold of Kim. Appreciate that. The app's back online again. Thank you, everybody, for patience. Unfortunately, when something happens on Sunday night, there's not a lot of people working. So don't forget Furman, 30% off. In the top here, great family friends of mine. I call them family. They are family. I was just texting this morning, a couple of our folks, OSR, Tammy OSR, were talking about Texas. They're thinking about setting up some of their equipment in Texas, just in case this thing gets sneaky and pulls that direction. So maybe I'll fly out there and see you, Tammy. You never know. All right, that's it for me. I got to go pull a battery out of the car. So we'll just keep an eye on the hurricane hunters. They're out there flying around right now. They probably got a new fix since we've been talking. There it is. There's that bump we talked about. So it's not really going that direction. Well, actually it is. Holy cow, that's a big swing. Wow. A couple things I look at. There's a current eye, obviously. We'll see if this thing, usually they come back down, but these are the connecting dots thing we talk about. But it dropped 4 millibars in a pass. It's making a run at Cat 5. And it still looks like it's going, wow. Interesting. Let's see what the guidance shows that it should be. I go to Google Radar here, and you can see the latest fix. And it is riding a little bit above where it should have been. See? That doesn't mean a lot. Remember yesterday we were watching this thing during our live, and it took that little wobble, then it's back. This is the wobble yesterday. That was a big wobble, actually. It went back to the north. So this was their 8 o'clock advisory point, or 10 a.m. Actually did a fix at 10 a.m. It's a little north of where it should have been because this is the next point. So it could be riding a little more to the north. That's why I'm worried about Jamaica. We might see a little track to the north. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised the cone doesn't include more of Jamaica. That's very odd to me. I think the cone should be a little more to the north for the eye wall, but we'll see if this thing continues a little more to the north. Strong systems. I mean, we haven't said this in a lot of years, but strong systems in the past sometimes did what they wanted to do. Not like major changes. We're not talking about a turn to Florida. We're talking about a little more push to the north. Cassandra, we talked all morning about Jamaica. Everybody saw it. You must have just tuned in. You're going to have to go back and watch. Cool, Shelly. Thank you for doing that. We're going to pop over to Brew Crew here in a second. So we'll get a new NHC advisory in about 20 minutes. I'm going to sign off. We'll get a new track update here in about 20, 30 minutes. No big thinking, change of thinking down the road. Jamaica's definitely watching. Caymans are watching. Yucatan's watching. Texas should be watching. as that would be this weekend. This thing has actually the only other model I want to show you here. Let's go to Tropical Tidbits. So last year, 2 years ago, I couldn't find any graphics from last year. One of the highest performing models 2 years ago was the HMON, which I think used to be called the GFDL years ago. But the HMON tracked one of the best last year, they said, or 2 years ago. And it's passing just south of Jamaica there. And then it goes to the Yucatan right there. 976. Got to remember one thing. The intensity models did an extremely well job. Is that makes any English people out there? Extremely well job. Does that make sense? That might be two strikes against me this live. But 976, and then it pops on through, and then starts to re-intensify to 991. So that's what we got to worry about if that thing gets out there. All right. Then the latest let's see. These are back on Tropical Tidbits, by the way. H-Wharf 961, really close to Jamaica there. It was splitting the gap yesterday. Now it's not. But look what it does. This is reality right here, guys. This thing 957. I mean, that's not good at all. Then it pops out at 988, but then it starts to try to redevelop it again on the other side of the Yucatan. The Haas A parent, which is larger, almost hits Jamaica, a little more to the north. See what happens though? If this thing hits the Yucatan, it's going to have a little more chance to pull north into Texas there. Now see what happens. 994, then 985. So it's going to try to re-intensify in the Gulf. I'm telling you. Yucatan isn't very mountainous. The Haas B parent is very close to Jamaica. Very, very, very close. Still just a tick to your south. And it actually bends more like the Euro down in the lower BOC. So nobody really upper Gulf Florida obviously should be watching this or worried about it. It's definitely got a lot of consistency, but that it could sneak into Texas. But anybody else, I don't think so. And really not seeing much with that other system. That's interesting. A lot of dry air. A lot of dry. That wasn't showing up yesterday. That dry air is definitely going to impact 96. The dry air is keeping my camping dreams alive. All right. So, the extremely good job. There you go, Muffin. How do you watch a Brew Crew right now? Oh, Leah, you got to sign up. Anybody asked about the Brew Crew. If you guys want to support us, we appreciate it. Right here, subscribe. And you get a whole bunch of perks. And we have a whole private chat room that we have our diehards in right there. $4.99 a month or yearly. Yearly gives you a lot more stuff. But we do appreciate the support. Cheaper than a cup of coffee at Starbucks for a whole month of Mike. And it takes time. Don't expect instantaneous, especially during a storm. So sign up during slow season, and you're guaranteed to be in when things pick up, maybe closer to you. But you can't sign up during the middle of a Cat 5 hurricane and expect us to instantly have everything ready for you, because it takes time to process. Because we're still trying to run the web page. Web page is always there. Who the hell is that? Somebody call me. I love caller ID now, because you get these weird names pop up. Obviously, spammers. Had a Washington D.C. number yesterday from and I googled it, and it was 100% spammer. But I'm like, they're tricky. They make you think it's somebody important. Shelby, great question. The early AM eyewall has helped it, actually. We're seeing a larger storm now. There it is. The eyewall replacement has gotten larger, and it's really close to the islands now. They're getting the worst of it right now currently. Kind of splitting the gap. Hopefully that is... but it looks like it's splitting I think there is one island there, actually. There is some, I don't know if it's in these little islands, obviously. There's a lot of population on this one. So this unfortunately is probably getting hit the worst. I'm not even sure the name, it's Hillsborough, but I'm not sure the country. So I apologize, but you're definitely getting the worst of it right now. So there's that. All right, we'll be live tomorrow morning. I'll do a special little 90-second reel here in a little bit, updating those once we get the new 11 o'clock, and be live in the morning. All right, so thanks for tuning in, everybody. Really appreciate it. Been doing this a long time, and welcome to all the new followers and fans, and hopefully you get some good information. Remember, the website's everything. That's always been my bread and butter as far as making sure, everything's working. Oh, man, I got a bunch of emails. All right. So, hey, we'll see everybody tomorrow. All right. Be safe down there in the islands. Hopefully everybody's prepared. And, of course, Jamaica should be watching this very close. Your impacts could start here in less than 2 days. All right. See you tomorrow.